Where did I grow up? I grew up down in Nova Scotia and actually in Cape Breton, and more specifically in downtown Sydney. My parents had a delicatessen right on the main street, which is called Charlotte Street. And all the businesses on that street were actually owned by Jewish merchants. Before Adath Israel, well, a number of careers. After I got my MBA from Dow in the late 80s, I spent the first almost 20 years of my career in marketing at really big companies like Wrigley's, Maple Leaf Foods, Schick, Warner Lambert, which is now Pfizer, Swiss Chalet, and a couple of others. But in mid-2000s, I got cancer. And so I left the marketing world and took a year off. I actually coached pro hockey in England. I didn't even know they had hockey in England. And when I got back, I switched into an operational role. And from 2010 till the mid-20-teens, I worked at the airport as the director of parking and ground transportation. So all those taxis and parking and anything on the roadways, I was responsible for. But I took a quick break after that and really wanted to reaffiliate myself with the Jewish community. And I took a great job running Camp Kadima down in Nova Scotia. And somehow that led to this terrific opportunity here at Adath Israel. I would be coaching hockey somewhere around the world and having the time of my life, but I wouldn't want to be anywhere but Adath Israel right now. My childhood hero was Terry Fox. Terry Fox started running in April of 1980 in Newfoundland and made his way to Cape Breton and ran down the main street in Sydney. I sadly missed him, but I followed his path across Canada, and I think he's a true Canadian hero. Favorite hockey team, besides the Avenue Road Ducks 2004s, which I have coached with a lot of passion and some frustration, my favorite pro hockey team is the Montreal Canadiens, particularly from the 1970s with Ken Dryden and Guy Lafleur. Favorite hockey player of all time definitely is Wayne Gretzky, and it's not just because he was so great at his craft. He was a true ambassador for the game, and from the time he was a little kid up until today. He carries himself with so much class, and I think we can all learn from that. Oh, very simple. I have a very strong addiction to Coke Zero. If it wasn't for that, I would not make it through this pandemic. I've only baked challah bread once. It was at Camp Kadima with a bunch of 8-year-olds, and their challah turned out way better than mine, so I have since retired from challah baking. Not everyone may know that I'm actually a foster dad to a now 15-year-old, and have been for over 2 years. Not having been a dad before, my favorite thing about being a dad is just watching David, his first name is David, my last name is David, is watching David grow up and all the things he's learning about becoming a young man. There's really two things. Number one is the office. So we have a really, really fun office. And the staff, of course, Nancy and Randy, me and Perry, Ronley, Flo, they're just terrific, and they all have really good personalities, and it's a really nice unit. But beyond the office staff itself, we also, of course, have the maintenance folks, led by Frank, and then we have the clergy, and they're always down in our office on their way up or on their way out, and they are terrific. I remember as a kid, I was so scared of my rabbi when I was a kid, and when I got here, I was just so enamored by Rabbi Cutler, Rabbi C, Cantor Stein, and Ben Sharp, and they're always down, and they have such tremendously warm personalities. And I certainly miss that, especially at a time when we're isolating, we don't get a chance to talk as often. Well, I think it's going to be a long time before we get back to the real normal, but certainly the best part of working at our synagogue, besides interacting with all of our staff, is our members. We have a large congregation, as you know, and we get a chance to see them The regulars every Saturday for Shabbat services and Kiddush afterwards, but we have a tremendous amount of programs happening throughout the week, and so many people are coming and going all the time, and they make a point of either stopping in the office or we see them in the hallway, and I really, really miss that camaraderie more than anything. It's funny because I haven't really been a big book reader as an adult, but the one that I did read on Rabbi Cutler's advice over the Hanukkah/Christmas holidays was a book by Dr. Ron Wolfson called Relational Judaism. And it really, really opened my eyes to the importance of engagement with our members. And it may seem really obvious, but it was a book that, as someone who came from outside the synagogue environment, really matured the way I think about the importance of engagement. And it's interesting because it was a lot of theory before the pandemic. Now that the pandemic has hit, really what our entire focus is all about is engagement with our members, whether it be through videos like this, phone calls to our members, particularly those that are shut-ins that are in isolation and don't have the ability to have family come visit. So I think that's been the most inspirational book and the most important book I've read throughout my own business career. I know this sounds cliche, so please don't roll your eyes, anybody, but it is by far the people. The people and the culture in the office, the interactions with our clergy, the people that are coming in every day for minion breakfast and for quilting and for Tuesday morning sessions with Marjorie, and all of those type of programs leading up to Shabbat services every week, where you see the regulars and some new people that are coming all the time. It really is kind of a city within a building, and there's so much. There's so much that happens on a day-to-day basis, and no day's ever the same. So I would say the people for sure, the culture for sure, and the constant change and the evolution that happens within that building. And that's what I really miss, and I can't wait to get back to. You're still watching this video, and I know I don't get quite the viewership that our clergy do. I just want to say that we sincerely and genuinely miss you. We cannot wait until our shul opens again, and we can welcome you all back. So stay safe and stay well, and we hope to see you very, very soon.